Welcome to Audio Library HQ. Take a deep breath, relax your mind, and prepare to transform the way you think. This is more than an audiobook. This is a mindset shift. Listen carefully, because the words you hear today may change your life forever, and I mean forever. There is a dangerous thing that happens slowly, quietly, almost invisibly, and by the time most people notice it, years of their life are already gone. It is called wasted potential. The pain of knowing you could have become more, but never did, is a difficult truth to face. Not because you lacked intelligence, not because you lacked opportunity, but because you stayed comfortable, distracted, afraid. And over time, those small moments of hesitation became your entire life. This is how dreams disappear, not instantly, but gradually, one delay at a time, one excuse at a time, one distraction at a time, until eventually, the person you could have become exists only in your imagination. And deep down, most people know this. They feel it when they wake up tired, when they procrastinate again, when they avoid their goals, when they settle for less than they truly want. There is a voice inside them, quietly whispering, "You are capable of more." But instead of listening, they distract themselves with entertainment, scrolling, comfort, temporary pleasure, anything to avoid facing the truth. Because the truth is uncomfortable. Growth requires sacrifice. Discipline requires discomfort. Transformation requires change. And change terrifies most people because change forces you to let go of who you used to be. But understand this carefully. The version of you that reaches greatness cannot think like the current version of you, cannot behave the same way, cannot keep the same habits. Because your habits are creating your future daily. Every hour wasted, every distraction repeated, every excuse accepted, shapes the direction of your life. And eventually, those repeated choices become identity. This is why most people remain average, not because they want to, but because average feels familiar, safe, predictable. But greatness requires uncertainty, risk, discomfort, and responsibility, which is why so few people ever truly change. Because real transformation requires becoming someone new, not pretending, not temporary motivation, but real change, daily, consistent, intentional change. And that journey begins the moment you stop lying to yourself, the moment you stop pretending you have unlimited time, the moment you finally admit your future depends on what you do today, not tomorrow, not someday, but today. Because every day you delay, your potential weakens. Every day you hesitate, your confidence shrinks. And every day you avoid discipline, your future pays the price. And one day, if nothing changes, you will wake up realizing you had the ability to become extraordinary, but you never acted on it. That realization is one of the heaviest pains a person can carry, the pain of unrealized potential, the pain of becoming less than who you were capable of being. And today, you must decide, will that become your story? Or will this be the moment everything changes? Most people do not fail dramatically. They fail quietly, silently, in ways that nobody notices at first. A dream delayed, a goal abandoned, a promise broken to themselves, again and again and again, until eventually disappointment becomes normal. And that is the real danger, not failure, but becoming comfortable with mediocrity, because once mediocrity feels normal, potential begins to die. This is why so many people live frustrated lives, not because they were incapable of greatness, but because they slowly accepted less discipline, less focus, less ambition, less belief in themselves. And over time, that lowered standard became identity. Think about how dangerous that is. Your habits shape your standards, and your standards shape your future. If you tolerate distraction, your life becomes distracted. If you tolerate laziness, your future weakens. And if you tolerate inconsistency, your goals slowly disappear. Everything compounds, and this is a fundamental truth. Every action, every thought, and every decision, all of these things have an impact, and that is why your daily routine matters more than motivation. Motivation is temporary, and emotion is temporary, but habits create identity, and identity controls behavior. This is why successful people become disciplined first, because discipline creates stability, and stability creates progress. Most people wait until they feel ready, but readiness is an illusion. You become ready by taking action, by moving forward despite fear, and by continuing despite discomfort. Because confidence is not something you wait for. Confidence is built through evidence, evidence created by action. Every time you follow through, you strengthen yourself. Every time you keep your word, you build self-respect. And every time you resist distraction, you become mentally stronger. And eventually, those repeated moments, they transform you completely. This is why your environment matters so much, because your environment either strengthens your focus or destroys it. Look around carefully. What consumes your attention daily? Negativity, drama, mindless entertainment? Because whatever surrounds you consistently begins shaping your identity, and identity shapes destiny. This is why protecting your mind is one of the most important responsibilities you have. Your attention is valuable, your energy is valuable, and your future is valuable. And yet, most people give those things away freely to distractions that do not matter. Hours disappear, days disappear, years disappear, and then one day, they wonder why nothing changed. But life always reflects your priorities, always. If growth is truly your priority, your actions will show it, your habits will show it, and your discipline will show it. And if your habits do not reflect your goals, then your goals are only fantasies. This is why self-awareness is powerful, because once you become aware, you can no longer lie to yourself. You begin seeing the truth clearly. You begin realizing your future is being created right now through the decisions you repeat daily. And once you truly understand that, you stop wasting time. You stop waiting. You stop settling. Because now you understand something powerful. The life you want requires a different version of you. There comes a moment in every person's life where they must confront themselves honestly. No distractions, no excuses, no pretending, just truth. And the truth is often painful, because deep down, most people already know what is holding them back. It is not lack of information, not lack of opportunity, not lack of intelligence. It is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of discomfort, fear of becoming responsible for their own future. Because once you accept responsibility, everything changes. You can no longer blame circumstances. You can no longer blame your past. You can no longer blame other people. You are forced to face the reality that your future depends on your actions. And for many people, that responsibility feels overwhelming. So instead, they stay distracted, because distraction is easier than discipline. Comfort is easier than growth. Entertainment is easier than self-reflection. And over time, those comforts become chains, invisible chains, chains that slowly steal ambition, confidence, energy, purpose, until eventually, a person forgets who they were capable of becoming. This is the tragedy of modern life. Not physical limitation, but mental limitation. People living far below their true potential because they never trained their minds to become stronger. Think about how dangerous that is. A powerful mind can change an entire life, but an undisciplined mind can destroy one. That is why self-control matters so much, because without self-control, your attention belongs to the world, to distractions, to impulses, to temporary pleasure. But when you develop discipline, you regain control over your actions, control over your emotions, and control over your future. And control changes everything. Most people believe freedom means doing whatever they want, but real freedom comes from mastering yourself. Because when you can control your habits, you can control your direction. When you can control your focus, you can control your results. And when you can control your emotions, you become calm under pressure. And that calmness becomes power. This is why disciplined people move differently, think differently, and operate differently. Because they understand something most people ignore. Every action has a consequence. Every habit has a destination, and every repeated thought shapes identity. Which means your future is being programmed daily by your routines, by your environment, and by your standards. And if your standards are low, your future becomes limited. This is why growth requires raising your standards. No more tolerating laziness, no more accepting excuses, and no more wasting years living beneath your potential. Because time is moving, whether you improve or not. And eventually, you will become the result of what you repeatedly did, not what you hoped for, not what you planned, but what you repeatedly did. That realization should wake you up. Because your future self is being created right now, through today's actions, today's habits, and today's mindset. And if you truly want a different future, you must become different first, more focused, more disciplined, more intentional, and more self-aware. Because transformation does not begin externally. It begins internally, inside the mind, inside the decisions nobody else sees, and inside the standards you choose to live by daily. And once those standards rise, your entire life begins to rise with them. The hardest battle most people will ever fight is the battle against themselves. Not against the world, but against their own mind, remembering that the greatest battles are often internal. Not against other people, and not against the world, but against distraction, against comfort, and against procrastination, against fear, and all the things that hold us back. Because your mind can either become your greatest weapon or your greatest limitation. And the difference depends on what you train it to become and the choices you make every day. Most people never train their mind. They train distraction, they train inconsistency, and they train weakness. Every time they avoid discomfort, their mind becomes weaker, and every time they quit early, their standards become lower. Every time they choose temporary pleasure over long-term growth, they reinforce limitation, and eventually, that limitation becomes identity. This is why self-discipline matters so much, because discipline is not punishment, but training your mind to stay focused and training yourself to follow through. Training yourself to continue, even when motivation disappears, because motivation will disappear, feelings change, and energy changes, but standards remain. And people who operate from standards change their lives completely. They stop negotiating with themselves, they stop making excuses, and they stop waiting for perfect timing. Because they understand something powerful. Your future rewards consistency, not intentions, not wishes, but consistency. Think about how many people know exactly what they should do, but never do it consistently. They know they should wake up earlier, focus more, study more, work harder, and take care of their health. But knowledge without action changes nothing, and that is why execution separates successful people from average people, not intelligence, but execution, the ability to act consistently, even when it's difficult, even when nobody is watching, and even when results are slow. Because real growth is invisible at first, the strongest transformations happen quietly, internally, slowly, one disciplined action at a time, and eventually, they lead to profound change and a deeper understanding of oneself. Not against the world, but against their own mind, remembering that the greatest battles are often internal. Not against other people, and not against the world, but against distraction, against comfort, and against procrastination, against fear, and all the things that hold us back. Because your mind can either become your greatest weapon or your greatest limitation. And the difference depends on what you train it to become and the choices you make every day. Most people never train their mind. They train distraction, they train inconsistency, and they train weakness. Every time they avoid discomfort, their mind becomes weaker, and every time they quit early, their standards become lower. Every time they choose temporary pleasure over long-term growth, they reinforce limitation, and eventually, that limitation becomes identity. This is why self-discipline matters so much, because discipline is not punishment, but training your mind to stay focused and training yourself to follow through. Training yourself to continue, even when motivation disappears, because motivation will disappear, feelings change, and energy changes, but standards remain. And people who operate from standards change their lives completely. They stop negotiating with themselves, they stop making excuses, and they stop waiting for perfect timing. Because they understand something powerful. Your future rewards consistency, not intentions, not wishes, but consistency. Think about how many people know exactly what they should do, but never do it consistently. They know they should wake up earlier, focus more, study more, work harder, and take care of their health. But knowledge without action changes nothing, and that is why execution separates successful people from average people, not intelligence, but execution, the ability to act consistently, even when it's difficult, even when nobody is watching, and even when results are slow. Because real growth is invisible at first, the strongest transformations happen quietly, internally, slowly, one disciplined action at a time, and eventually, they lead to profound change and a deeper understanding of oneself. Those small actions compound. Your confidence grows, and your focus sharpens, so your habits improve. And suddenly, you begin becoming someone new. This is why patience matters, because most people quit too early. They expect instant results, instant success, instant transformation. But life does not work that way. A strong mind is built over time, a disciplined life is built over time, and a powerful future is built over time. Everything meaningful requires consistency, and consistency requires identity, because when discipline becomes part of who you are, your actions begin changing automatically. You no longer chase motivation, you no longer depend on emotion, you simply execute. And that level of self-control changes everything, because now you become dangerous to distraction, dangerous to excuses, dangerous to mediocrity. You begin moving with intention, with focus, with clarity. And clarity is powerful because most people live confused lives, pulled in different directions, distracted by noise. But focused people operate differently. They protect their attention, protect their energy, protect their future because they understand. Attention is one of the most valuable resources in the world. What you focus on daily shapes your reality. And if your attention constantly belongs to distraction, your future becomes fragmented. But if your attention belongs to growth, your life begins transforming. This is why your environment matters, your habits matter, your standards matter. Everything compounds, every decision, every repeated action, every thought. And eventually, your entire life becomes the result of what you repeatedly focused on. So choose carefully, because your future is listening to your daily habits. And one day, your life will reflect exactly what you practiced repeatedly. One of the most dangerous things the person can do is underestimate the power of time, because time does not stop. It does not wait, and it does not care about your excuses. Every day, your life is moving in a direction, either toward growth or toward regret. And the frightening part is this: most people do not notice themselves falling behind until years have already passed. That is how slowly potential disappears, not instantly, but gradually, one distracted day at a time, one lazy habit at a time, one excuse repeated long enough, until mediocrity becomes normal. And once mediocrity becomes comfortable, a person stops believing they are capable of more. This is how people lose themselves, not through one massive failure, but through repeated neglect, neglecting discipline, neglecting purpose, neglecting growth, neglecting the future version of themselves that depended on today's decisions. And eventually, they wake up trapped inside a life they never truly wanted, a life built through unconscious habits. This is why awareness is powerful, because awareness interrupts the cycle. It forces you to confront reality, to see your habits clearly, to see your distractions clearly, to see your wasted time clearly. And while truth can feel painful, it is truly also freeing, because once you become aware, you gain the power to change. Most people avoid self-reflection because it feels uncomfortable, but discomfort is where transformation begins. Everything powerful in life requires discomfort. Growth requires discomfort. Discipline requires discomfort. Change requires discomfort. And the people who succeed in life learn how to become comfortable with discomfort. That is, by all accounts, one of the biggest differences between average people and exceptional people. Exceptional people train themselves to act despite resistance, despite fear, despite low motivation, because they understand something most people never learn. Your feelings are temporary, but your future is permanent. And if you continue allowing temporary emotions to control permanent decisions, you must understand that your life will never fully change. But then, this is why emotional discipline matters. The ability to stay focused, even when you don't feel like it, and the ability to continue, even when progress feels slow, are crucial. The ability to trust the process before results appear is also essential, because real transformation is truly invisible in the beginning. You will not immediately see the changes, but they are happening internally, and slowly, your mind becomes stronger, your focus becomes sharper, and your standards become higher. And slowly, your identity begins changing, which is a remarkable process. This is why consistency matters more than intensity, because anyone can feel motivated for one day, and anyone can feel inspired temporarily, but very few people can remain disciplined consistently. And consistency creates power, because repeated actions become habits, habits become identity, and identity shapes destiny. This means your future is being built through repetition, and what you repeatedly think, what you repeatedly tolerate, what you repeatedly focus on, all of it compounds over time. Which is why protecting your attention is one of the most important things you can ever do, because attention is truly life, and whatever controls your attention controls your direction. And in a world filled with distraction, focus becomes a superpower, the ability to sit quietly, to think deeply, to work consistently, to ignore noise. That ability alone can separate you from most people, because most people cannot focus any more Their minds are overstimulated, distracted, constantly pulled in every direction, and because of that, their potential remains undeveloped. But you are different. Now, you are becoming more aware, more intentional, more disciplined, and that awareness changes everything. Because once you begin seeing clearly, you stop settling for less, you stop accepting excuses, you stop wasting years living beneath your true potential, and instead, you begin building yourself intentionally, day by day, and habit by habit, decision by decision, until eventually, the person you once dreamed about becoming becomes truly real. If this message resonated with you, listen to it again tomorrow, because transformation happens through repetition. Subscribe to Audio Library HQ for more powerful mindset audiobooks designed to help you grow mentally, emotionally, and financially. And remember, the life you want begins with the thoughts you choose today.